get into this and we don't think it would roll well with the cocktail, or maybe we try it, it's okay, but it would be better in something. So like during the tasting, let's try to be cognizant of thinking what cocktail would this work better with, or what would it work well in.
Mm-hmm. If you recall, the last time we got into this for Halloween, I pulled 2 of the Von Payne cocktails, and we only got to 1 because we only had enough to do 1.
All right. Yeah.
So the other one is that Pain in the Ass, which is a mule, but it's their mule.
Okay.
So my thought was, even though this is a little hotter than the regular one, I'm curious as to the flavor profile.
Yeah, me too.
And how this compares, and that I thought it. When you go to their libation page, the Pain in the Ass cocktail is like the first cocktail at the top of the page. And
that was the Pain in the Ass cocktail that was designed for the original Von Payne Black?
Yes.
That is so weird. You know, from the second we first tried the Von Payne Black, I thought, I wonder what their regular plain old whiskey tastes like. What does that taste like? And so I was really stoked to find out that they were going to release it. Not stoked about the price.
Right.
But the rest of it, definitely. I was waiting for this to happen, and it did, and I'm stoked about it.
If I remember correctly, the original is not listed as a bourbon. This one is.
Cask strength bourbon whiskey. 113 proof. Batch 1, bottle number 1747. And only 1919 were bottled. I'm pretty fucking stoked. Actually, I can't wait for you to go back and check in your bathroom. See the shit I left in there. Hey, it's funny. I was just talking about you. What's the batch you put in there?
My ears must have been burning or something. I've got a Manhattan in here.
Okay.
But so yeah, my memory is correct. I'm actually even more excited to get into this because read what that label says that this is.
It says, let's see, Von Payne Reserve Limited Release Cask Strength Bourbon Whiskey. This rare spirit is to be shared among the noblest of friends.
And this is the Von Payne Black Blended Whiskey infused with natural black currant. This is not a bourbon.
It's not.
But the new one is. Means it's in new American white oak. It means that there's
51% corn.
Yep.
In the mash bill.
And it means that there's no artificial sweeteners or colors added to it.
And by the looks of the color on this,
it looks more like a bourbon.
Yeah. I'm stoked.
We don't have anything to compare to because the regular Von Payne Black is long gone.
And it's a very unique bottle design. Nobody else has this.
Yeah,
very Gothic style inspired.
I think when they posted about this, I think we saw that post pretty close to this, about the same time frame, because then you started sending me links to it, and then before I knew it, I was just like,
oh, when they announced this? Yeah.
And then you sent me a couple of them, and I was just like, oh shit, I think he's gonna pull the trigger.
Yeah. I was sitting in my truck just like, I couldn't chew through my fingernails any further. Not that I'm a nail biter, but yeah, I usually bite my lip on the inside. It's kind of, I'm eating my face. But yeah, it's just going through things, reading things. I'm like, there's no way I'm not getting this. Well, dear listener, if you can't tell what we're going to talk about tonight, I'll just go ahead and say it. Tonight, we're talking about the Von Payne Reserve Cask Strength Bourbon Whiskey. It just got released about mid-November. It took a while to get here, and finally we're getting around to finally tasting this stuff. Here at Savor the Burn Studios, we've been pretty stoked about Von Payne, especially the Von Payne Black, because that's all we had. It's a really cool, very unique bottle, very unique taste with a black currant infusion, and we couldn't be more happy with it.
We kind of kicked the door open with that.
Yeah, we did. It was one of the very first few whiskeys that we got to do a review on it. And it might be the first
This is the first cocktail.
It is the first cocktail.
Yep.
Yeah. A Von Payne Old Fashioned.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And, before we get too much further into it, thank you for listening on your favorite podcast app of choice. If you want to read more about this bottle by the time you hear this episode, you're probably going to be able to go on to savortheburn.com and click in the liquor cabinet, and you'll be able to read all about it. And if you want even more information, just click the link inside the liquor cabinet on the Von Payne Reserve page, and you'll follow that link straight to the Von Payne website. So whatever information we don't have, you can find it just by going to our website. Good times. I love seeing the notification pop up on my phone to see that your wonderful wife, Miss Katie, is up there just blowing up all of our social posts, leaving comments. And
she loves it.
Little things. She was up there just apologizing to us. I'm stoked that she's even doing it. I'm very happy with that. Because I go on there and I try to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. W2, you did pull some information.
Yeah.
What else you got here?
This release is on their website for $160. It comes in at 56.5% ABV, which is 113 proof. Hopefully that's what the bottle says.
It does say it on here. I forgot where I saw it. Yeah, 56.5.
Okay.
113
Excellent.
proof.
I only ask and question that because we've run into a few bottles, especially when you're dealing with cask strength, that from barrel to barrel, that can vary some. So yeah, out of Clearwater, Florida. It is a black currant. Is it a black currant?
I don't think this one is.
This one is just a cask strength bourbon whiskey. Okay. Well, I mean, that goes back to kind of some of our original questions of, what does their whiskey taste like before you infuse it? This is cool, though.
What is it, 1747 bottle number?
Yep. So yeah, but it's cool though. So for whatever reason, they landed on 1,919 bottles. I have to believe that has some significance, but I haven't seen anything about that, unless that just happens to be the number of barrels they decided to do for their first batch equaled that many bottles. But anyway, it's a very limited run. In the grand scheme of things, that's not a whole lot of bottles. And actually, we should probably do a little bit of math, figure out how many on average bottles you get out of a barrel, and then do a little bit of math, and we can figure out how many barrels were in this batch. Hey Siri, how many bottles of whiskey do you get out of one barrel?
Generally speaking, a standard 52-gallon whiskey barrel will hold approximately 200 bottles of whiskey.
Okay, so 200 out of one barrel. So if we've got one, and you also got to keep in mind the Angel's share. But 1,919, if we divide that by 200, you're talking about 9.5, so 10 barrels, essentially. That's a small batch.
I bet they
really small batch.
They took 10 barrels, dumped it, bottled it. How many more barrels do you think they have aging further?
Well, I would be surprised if this maybe doesn't become a yearly release.
I would hope so.
Or at least an every couple year release. Because 10 barrels is not a whole lot. So they have to have some stockpile in there. But it's cool because they have limited it, they've also hand numbered them. And then, it's signed by the owner.
I didn't notice it until you were asking about the proof and the alcohol by volume percentage down on the bottom of the label. I didn't notice it until you asked about that my back label's crooked.
Oh, it sure is.
It's sitting crooked.
And the original bottle, they share a lot of similarities. The original bottle, everything is in silver. So you've got black labels with a metal silver foil printing on there. The reserve bottle is the same, except for it's gold
Yeah.
Black
Like
and gold.
a burnished kind of gold.
And the original is 90 proof, 45 ABV.
Okay.
And the back, let's see, it says The Pleasure of Payne. Von Payne Black, blended whiskey infused with natural black currant. A seductive blend for those that seek to expand the possibilities of the night. And what does our reserve say?
This one says The Pleasure of Payne, Von Payne Reserve, limited release, cask strength bourbon whiskey. This rare spirit is to be shared among the noblest of friends. Crafted with passion and distributed by Von Payne Spirits, LLC. Produced and bottled by Von Payne Spirits, Newport, what is that, Ritchie, Florida?
Yep.
And there you go.
Same on here.
There you go.
Super cool. Yeah, I did pull off their website. Discover the pleasure of this limited release of our base bourbon that has spent years longer in our reserve charred oak barrels. This is a rare spirit that is to be shared among the noblest of friends. Don't miss this opportunity to experience Von Payne's Reserve cask strength bourbon whiskey.
Mm-hmm. Now, see on here, you got some the tasting notes from the original Von Payne Black,
which may not even apply.
I don't think it will.
But I thought it would also be good to just kind of have this. This was what notes we followed when we tasted the original one. Mm-hmm. I'll be curious to see, in between the lines, so to speak, in between the natural black currant flavors that the infused whiskey had, where's the overlaps?
Looking over all of
probably none.
These notes, there's, oaky tones is probably the only thing that will carry over. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm ready to pop this bastard open.
I say let's do it.
Let's check it out. I'm sure there's an easy way to do this.
I don't think
my Sugar Creek DNA is gonna find the hard way to do it. I'm undressing the gargoyle, peeling the plastic. Here goes the.
Oh yeah, that had a little suction to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've popped the gargoyle off the top of it, and
you said this red thing just pulls right off
with a little bit of force.
Okay.
I remember the first time when I pulled it up of the original one, I was afraid I was going to break something, so I was trying to be very gentle with it, and no, you just gotta pull the shit out of it. It's a rubber gasket that they put on the inside to keep things out of the pathway.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember my first time too, and it was kind of disappointing. Family show.
Hey-o.
Got that seated nice and well.
Well, hell, bring those glasses on over.
Yeah. That'll work.
We're doing the social things.
Pours out nice and slow.
You know what? That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you gotta control that juice.
The juice. There you go, sir.
Thank you.
Well, so far on the nose, it smells like bourbon.
That's what I would expect from a bourbon.
Oaky, a little bit of citrus, some
caramel.
Yeah, the caramel toffee thing going on. Is that like a kind of a reddish amber, or is that just a? Nah, just a honey gold, a honey amber.
Yeah, I'd say honey gold. I think is right.
Speaking of honey, there's honey on the nose. I think.
Maybe a little bit of cinnamon.
Does it smell a little weeded to you, or am I crazy?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
It's either that or floral. Sometimes I get weeded and wheat, grassy nose and floral mixed up somehow. Yeah, there's lots going on here.
Yep. I'd say toffee more so than caramel.
Yeah.
And whether correct or not, I always associate toffee with a little bit more of a burnt caramel.
Yeah. So for me, it could be like a burnt sugar, a burnt brown sugar, or just toffee. Well, I'm ready to get this on the palate.
All right.
Definitely more toffee flavor.
Yeah.
The honey carries through. Plenty of oak. There's I think that was a little bit of wheat on the nose because I think I'm picking it up.
A little bit of a warming spice.
Definitely there. I like how the 113 the proof kind of gets you on the palate, but it's not overbearing.
No,
and it doesn't follow you through your trachea into your spine.
Yeah, it just kind of warms the back of your throat. And
yeah, this is a full-bodied, higher proof sipper.
This is really good.
Yeah, it's just like they say. It's a rare spirit to be shared among the noblest of friends.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that, and it's got legs.
Legs for days. So, we're going to get to it here in a little bit. The cocktail for this thing. You picked Pain in the Ass, which is a mule. Right, so we've got, lime, ginger beer.
And that's it. And then this bourbon.
If we tried to horse feather it, which we can't because it's not a Kansas City bourbon.
We could.
We'd throw a couple dashes of Angostura bitters on it. But other than that, it would be a mule. And you like, with your horse feathers, you like to throw lemon in there, right? Not lime.
Correct.
Yeah, so I brought up the horse feather and I brought up the mule because they are common, simple cocktails, and you can kind of play around with them and not mess them up.
Yeah.
So with the Von Payne Black, with it being extra fruity, extra sweet, that's something that we're not usually used to dealing with when it comes to our cocktails. Like the spirit itself, straight from the bottle, is not sweet. It's not infused with sugary goodness. That's
true. That's a very good point. You know, the cocktails on their page are all still geared towards their original Von Payne Black, so they do not have a lot of sweeteners and citrus because it's already infused in the whiskey.
So,
but a mule would not anyway. It would just be just your lime and
there's going to be sweetness
beer
from the fruit, the lime, and the ginger beer for sure. But that said, when before we started our tasting, I said try to be mindful of what cocktails you think this would work well with. And right off the bat, I thought this would be perfect in an old fashioned.
This is an old fashioned, yeah. I think
all day.
I think all day this would be a fantastic.
Not so much a Manhattan.
And I just so happen to have 2 old fashioned glasses in the freezer.
I ain't gonna argue with it. We got a fresh bottle.
I'm showing some class.
You froze your glass.
This is really good.
Yeah, it is.
This is really
plenty of
really
oak,
good.
Plenty of toffee. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. It's very good. Very good.
Oh, that's interesting. Put a couple if you got a little bit left, put a couple drops of water in there. It opens it up a little bit.
It's wild how 2 drops can make such a big difference. It's almost a completely different whiskey.
The toffee becomes more of a caramel.
Yeah. And it backed some of that citrus out of there, which there really wasn't a whole lot to begin with, and helped push the oak forward, I think. This thing's got a lengthy finish.
Let's do a Von fashioned.
Yeah. Von Payne Reserve fashion. Old fashioned. The old fashioned featuring Von Payne Reserve. Which really sucks. I mean, because this is a super limited release. Like we said, only 1,919 bottles. If they haven't sold out already, they're going to sell out. Not everybody's going to be able to get this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy with this finish, too.
And it's still available on the website, so...
Yeah. Yeah, if it's still available on the website, order it. and they got a 2-bottle deal. If you buy 2 bottles, you get the flask, I think, for free. Which, if you don't have a flask, it's a really cool looking flask. It's of course black. It's got the smiling gargoyle.
It's metal though.
It's metal.
Metal.
We have if you're going to use probably aluminum. Now, if you're going to use a flask, a metal flask for your whiskey, I wouldn't have it in there more than 6 hours.
Yeah. I think your typical metal flask, it's designed to, you're on your way out the door for the night and you want to just take along a little something.
It's for the night. It's for a party.
So you pour it and you're going to be sipping on it within the hour of that. That said, we've got the glass flasks from Rag Proper.
Yeah.
And it's glass with a cork.
That's not going to affect the
seal
taste.
On the top of it. You can keep it in there as long as you want because it's no different than the glass bottles that are sitting on your shelf.
Yeah. So if you do end up using a metal flask, it's gonna. You probably already know this. It's going to affect the flavor of the spirit, whatever spirit you're putting in there, whether it's rum or vodka or whatever. It's going. To me, it ruins it.
Do people use flasks for vodka?
I have no idea.
I mean, maybe.
Idea. Like I said,
maybe.
I'm 43. I haven't really fucked with vodka in 33 years. I just haven't.
Yeah.
I was sitting down with my dad. We have this estranged relationship, but I actually got to spend some time with him earlier this month, and we were talking, and I said, I still tell people today about my story when I was 10, and that was the last time I really ever got into vodka at all. And he's like, really? I don't know the story. Somehow he missed. I said, well, you and the girl, the delivery driver from O'Reilly, and the two of you really like to drink vodka and frozen concentrated orange juice. Just mix that shit together and then drink it. You guys would have these big, tall, where they 72-ounce big gulps or whatever. And after you were done drinking that would be your cup for drinking whatever it is you're going to drink. And so they'd mix this shit up, and then they would put their cups in the fridge. Each of them would have their own cups, and I'm not drinking after the stranger. I'm going to drink after my dad's cup. Whatever. I don't even know. But anyway, so I get in there. I'm like, it looks good. It's orange juice. It'll get you drunk. I was no stranger to alcohol at that point anyway. So I'm like, I'm going to have some. And a little bit turned into a little more. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go over here in this other cup and even it out. And so before I knew it, I'm just fucking wasted. And so when I finally came out of it, it was to that point the worst hangover I had ever had. I'm like, I come to find out I love vodka, but vodka hates me. I really have been kind of hand shy about it ever since. And that's my vodka story. He's like,
that's great.
He's like, I had no idea. I'm like, yeah. Well,
yeah, you did.
Yeah, I think you did. I think you did, Dad. Hey, Dad. On this bottle presentation, since it comes in the box, its own.
Yeah, hand me that box. Let me get a closer look on that.
Yeah.
Bad boy. Yeah, the original just came as is, wrapped in bubble wrap. But this, it's magnetic closed too.
Yep.
So it's got
and it keeps closing on you.
Well, it's got the side open, and yeah, there's the little magnets, and then it's got kind of the memory foam or the dense foam.
You had to hold it in place during shipping
with the
or display,
right? Or display. Yep, absolutely. With the little gargoyle cut out and the black velvet. I mean, it's a coffin. And
if you look at the
shape.
At the texture of the box, it is textured with like a little bit of a wood grain.
Yep.
Oh, linen. Yeah, it looks more like linen.
Yeah.
And it's got gold lettering there with the description on the inside and outside. It's a beautiful box. Be a good stash box,
Mm-hmm. And the front of it's got a large gargoyle Von Payne Reserve, and then on the back side it says Cask Strength Bourbon Whiskey. Yeah. That's
And we do like our bourbon whiskeys cask strength around here.
yeah. Scotches come in the tubes. Mm-hmm. And then the boxes that you see, a lot of some of your higher end ones come in nice fancy boxes, and we've got the Booker's that has that wooden box.
That's a wooden box with the
plexiglass, slide out front face on there. That's got printing directly on there.
And there's a neck cradle in there built in. It's dipped in wax.
This isn't that far off of it. It may not be wood and plexiglass and wax dipped and all that, but it is a very, very custom box.
Booker's doesn't have the gargoyle
with the black velvet. This is signed, and I mean I brought down the original topper from the Von Payne Black, and I mean this thing weighs probably 3-4 pounds easily. It's substantial. It is not a cheap pour spout. This is they went for quality when they built these. And I remember when we had the first one and learning a little bit about that. The owner 3D printed the design of this bottle to begin with, and that's what they used to then take and to the manufacturer and start mass producing it. So it is a very, very unique bottle, and just a top-notch quality metal pour spout. And I mean, there's nothing else out there that you're pouring directly from the gargoyle's gullet,
right? And I don't even
or anything else. For
I don't
that
even think the Guar bottle toppers are pour spouts.
The Gore ones they're cool toppers, but it's just a topper. This is a actual pour spout.
The horse and rider on Blanton's.
Yep,
that's not a pour spout.
Just a topper.
Just a topper. This is double. It's pulling double duty, maybe even triple duty, because it just looks badass. Yeah. This is really good. Let me work on my total. I gotta do some math.
Oh, we do have some math to do real quick.
It's math, not meth. Well, I wrote down here, full-bodied and well-rounded. You'll find this Von Payne Reserve hits every flavor mark on your favorite bourbon checklist. We can't say enough about this bourbon. And that's before we've even said our scores, our ratings.
I like it.
Well, let's get into the rating.
Let's do it.
What'd you give it on the nose?
I gave it a 4.
4.0. I gave it a 4.5. It just keeps giving me more and more stuff to find. Like,
I could have easily bumped that up a little bit, but I decided
it's all right. First impressions.
Yeah, I just decided to stick it with a nice, solid round 4.
After it spent a few minutes in the glass, kind of airing out a little bit, you can really kind of smell more and more on that thing. On the palate, I gave it a 4 3/4. How about you?
I gave it 4 1/4.
All right. Starting to piss me off. All right. On the finish, I gave it a 4.5. How about you?
Gave it another 4.
Another 4? Mm-hmm. All right. Harsh critic. All right. How about bottle presentation?
I gave it a 5.
I gave it a 5. Now, there we go. See, now we're starting to agree on stuff.
I mean, aside from the cool box and gargoyle topper pour spout, it's a black box. And it's a gargoyle topper pour spout.
In the bottle design,
it's got wings.
Shape,
it's got
so unique.
Yeah,
so beautiful, and it's hand signed.
Did you ever get into that the cartoon gargoyles?
I never did. I remember seeing it.
They came out. I think I was probably mid high school when they first came out, and that, and for whatever reason, Darkwing Duck.
I loved Darkwing Duck.
Those were my 2 cartoons that, as a junior and a senior in high school, I still went home and watched. But yeah,
yep, ain't no shame in that game. I still love a good cartoon from time to time.
The gargoyles would come to life and defend the city at night, and then when the sun came back out, they had to get back to their spot because they turned back to stone.
Yeah. Well, how about the total? What'd your total end up?
My total ended up at 8.625, 8 5/8.
Mine came up to 9.375, 9 3/8.
All right.
So we're what, half point away from each other?
Yep, about
Is that what that is? Yeah, somehow.
That's a little more than half.
Yeah. I was never good at math. All right, so it looks like we both like it.
Yeah, this is great.
Which, so we've talked about...
And I'm very appreciative that you pulled us over.
Oh, yeah. So good. Definitely one of the more pricey, higher dollar bottles that I've bought in my life. But it's for the podcast.
It's for science.
It's for science. That's what I keep telling myself. Every time I buy another fucking bottle and Jennifer gives me the fucking side eye, I'm like, it's for the podcast. Like that's supposed to make it all okay. I forgot to mention it did come with a little tag around the neck to tell you how to open the bottle.
Yep.
How to get the pour spout out. You know.
Actually, that's the exact same tag that came on the
okay.
one.
Perfect. Shit, you still got it. You still got it, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, same one. We got matching toe tags. I mean, neck tags.
Toe, neck,
Whatever. So I didn't get into the feedback on the whiskey groups.
Oh yeah,
I posted a picture of the bottle in the box.
I saw that,
and I said, really, I was looking for suggestions. If anybody's tried it, what they thought of it, and suggestions on what cocktail that they thought it would work with. And in the whiskey tribe, I said the same thing in both groups, but I said, anyone had the Von Payne Reserve yet? Thoughts? Looking for cocktail recommendations. And Tim says, no, just no. Smile or laughing emoji. Seriously, don't bother. If it looks like a gimmick, guess what? It's a gimmick.
Boy, is he wrong.
Yeah, this was definitely really good. I'd like to set this up on a blind taste test and try it by these naysayers. I don't know why you would think that. A gimmick. We've had gimmick whiskeys. To me, a gimmick whiskey is like anything like Old Smoky has with the flavored whiskeys. That to me, like if it's pickle shine, that's a gimmick whiskey.
If this felt like and looked like it came from the dollar store, sure.
The gargoyle pour top.
Gargoyle pour top. Yep, the spout. I would say okay. Gimmick.
Yeah.
This is a quality topper.
And the bottle is quality.
And yeah.
It's thick glass.
Yep.
And like you said, it's a heavy topper made out of metal.
Yeah.
Metal. And Adrian says, might not always be accurate, but, quote, over the board, unquote, quote, flashy, unquote, bottle designs kind of turns me off. I haven't been proven wrong yet, lol. His sentence doesn't make sense. Like, not quite sure, but it's flashy. I haven't been proven wrong yet.
Well,
so what do you mean you haven't been proven wrong? What? That it's a flashy bottle? Yeah, it's a flashy bottle. So fucking what?
If what's in it backs it up, who cares? You right?
Right. And then I go over to...
Because, honestly, technically, Blanton's is a over-the-top flashy bottle.
Yeah.
Booker's is over-the-top flashy. You can go down the line.
What about Crown Royal? It's
all
flashy.
All day long.
Over the top. And in the Kansas City Whiskey Guild group, Daniel says, coming soon to Kansas. I have a sample of it in my office, but haven't tried it yet.
All right. It sounds like he pre-ordered.
Yeah. I don't know how he got a sample of it.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Must have a friend or family member that got a bottle, and they wanted to share it with him, which is super cool. So I guess as time goes on and more people have a chance at trying this, 1,919 people... hopefully times 2, hopefully people share this with a friend. I really hope that they release more of this. Batch number 2
Yeah.
You know, batch number 3, whatever.
How cool is it though? You got a batch 1.
How cool is it to be alive in this moment? Yeah, we're still in the whiskey bourbon boom or whatever. Like, it might be waning a bit, but there's still new things coming out.
Yeah.
And you know, 50 years ago, this wasn't happening. 50 years from now, who knows? But right now, we're here. We're in it. We're checking it out.
Yep.
And we're experiencing so many cool things. That's one of the things that I've really come to appreciate about this podcast, and starting it up and being a part of it. And something I used to kind of do with whiskey and bourbon, but not to this extent, was trying to pull the flavors out of it. I could find the vanilla and citrus notes on Jim Beam White Label. That's why I liked it. It was sweet. It was kind of citrusy. I liked it.
Speaking of, did you see that they cheersed us today?
They did. They really did. Yeah. So I left them a comment. They had some cool picture, like they threw ice into an old fashioned and it was splashing everywhere and it looked really cool. It's like, cool pick. And then said something like, we recently reviewed the Von Payne Black and it was amazing. You know.
You mean the Jim Beam
Black. What did I just say?
You said Von Payne Black.
Sorry, I got Von Payne on the mind. But yeah, we recently reviewed the Jim Beam Black and it was amazing. You know, metal horns or whatever it was that I did. But then, yeah, they responded to us.
Yep. Cheers.
Cheers.
Sometimes, you know,
we're kind of a big deal.
That's all we ask for.
We're getting some fucking respect in this town. People recognize us. It's about damn time.
We had a show not that long ago.
We did. It was Voodoo. Knew it started with a V. We shared the stage with some really good bands.
Their Christmas show.
The Christmas show. It was actually the from what Stratgazer said, it was the Harrah's Casino employee Christmas party also. So it was a really good turnout. Started off with Dread to Fall, and then Full Stack Fury, and then after them was us, Burn the Gates, and then after us was Shadow Sin, and then Mad Libby, which I always love Mad Libby. You know, I get a real kick out of hopping up side stage and watching Dana do her thing on the drums. Like,
she's
I love
a beast
that woman.
On those drums.
Yeah, like sister from another mister. I love that woman. And so just watching her beat her drums like they owe her money. It's one of my favorite things to do, and she does it with gusto and glee. You just watch it happen. And then we had the hip hop acts that came up and finished the night out. They came with a lot of energy. It was Young Ched, Fritzy, and Unique. It came out as like a three-person fucking powerhouse.
They brought it.
They did. They throw down every bit as hard as any metal band I've ever really seen.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk with Unique a couple times. And cool guy.
Dude. Down to earth.
From Topeka.
Oh,
or is it Wichita?
I don't know. Young Ched, is kind of taller white guy. He I think is from Wichita.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
But yeah,
it was a great night. It was a great night. It was a great show. And in the chat afterwards, the next day, you know, they were like, you know, thanks for, you know, letting us, you know, rap guys come on your rock and metal show. And I'm like, dude, rock and metal and hip hop,
the diversity that it brought, made it a great night.
It was kind of meant to be together. I mean, thinking as far back as I can, when Run DMC did the mashup with Aerosmith,
right?
You know, turned the world on its head. You know, black people have their music, white people have their music.
Ice Cube and Korn.
Yeah. That song "Fuck Dying" off of their "Follow the Leader" album. That was pretty good. And then Ice Cube turned around on his on his album after that with Dr. Frankenstein. There was a song on that one. I forget the name of that album.
Was Jonathan Davis on that?
No, it was Korn and Monkey throwing in guitars.
Okay.
Oh, War and Peace, Volume 1. That was a good one. fuck time. So I agree. I like it. And like I said before, it's full-bodied, well-rounded. You'll find this Von Payne Reserve hits every flavor mark on your favorite bourbon flavor checklist. And we just can't say enough about it. We've already spent, a long time. Unfortunately, chances are, if you're listening to this now, there's probably no more bottles available.
Yeah.
You might be hosed. Next payday, I might check and see if there's any left. I might get another bottle just to store and sell in 20 years. We'll see. Who knows? I might not also. That said, thank you, dear listener, for listening to this edition of the Savor of the Burn podcast. If you, I got to thinking about this today. If you have a whiskey, a bourbon, a scotch, a spirit that you want us to check out, send us an email, info@savortheburn.com. You can send it to Wayne, w2@savortheburn.com, or send it to me, Jonathan, @savortheburn.com. Just email us. Let us know what it is that you want us to try out, what you think about it, and extra points, not that we dole out points around here, but extra points if you can suggest a cocktail that pairs well with that specific spirit.
Or if you're listening to this on YouTube, instead of sending us an email, just put it in a comment.
Yeah, throw it in a comment. It doesn't matter if it's on
email, comment
on any of our socials. Actually, all of our socials have a message. You can DM us all you want, but we're interested in your feedback. We get it from time to time, but since we're attention whores, we love all the attention we can get. Was that the coaster?
Stupid whiskey.
Oh, that was the skewer. And as always, no matter what you're drinking, whether it's a Von Payne Reserve bourbon whiskey at 113 proof or not, whoever you're with, whether it be friends, family, esteemed colleagues, or not, always remember, dear listener, to
keep on burning.